Hello, this is Complete SharePoint Training. I am Muhammad Darwish, SharePoint Consultant. Microsoft SharePoint Server 2013 is mainly a document storage and collaboration platform that offer many benefits to your organization. As you know, SharePoint deployment may take many different forms in scope, where a deployment may be focused on only delivering only one feature, like enterprise search. Or you can go with many features such as document management, for example, business intelligence, web content management, and of course, workflow. In this module, you will learn about the core feature of SharePoint 2013, the new features in this version, and what has been removed. You will learn also about the basic structure element of a farm deployment and how they fit together. Finally, you will learn about the different deployment options available to SharePoint 2013. Before we start, let's discuss some questions. Have you previously deployed a SharePoint farm or administrated a SharePoint farm, created a new service application, or added a new site collections to a farm, or have you previously administrated a site collections or a site? What's SharePoint capability? As you know, SharePoint 2013 is a platform that offers a diverse range of capability, a lot of capability there. Any organization may choose to implement some or all of this capability to achieve its productivity. For example, collaboration on different type of content such as content, web content, list item, media content, and drawing. And what about enterprise content management? Means if you storing and organizing data and document and other content within an organization. And for web content management, it's extent of ECM functionality into a web content, such as version control, content approval, and publishing. And what about social computing? Enable user to keep information and keep informed about tasks or content that colleagues are working with. And for searching, it's one of the most important capability in SharePoint. It's mainly index content stored in SharePoint such as web pages, list item, and document content. And about business intelligence, oh my god, business intelligence is a huge topic. Here in SharePoint, it provides organization with the ability to analyze business data in many different ways. BI feature includes the ability to display updated chart information and of course key performance indicator KPIs, dashboards, and data-driven visio. And the last point here is about composite. Composite, it's about mixing of content based on user requirements. For example, include some spreadsheet and chart published on a web page. Let's now move to overview of SharePoint logical architecture. SharePoint farm runs on one or more server and typically consists of several web applications and service application. And for farm configuration database, that's very important, that store the web application details and the service application associated with this SharePoint farm. And there is one SharePoint farm configuration database within the farm. Service application provide a specific functionality to web application within the farm, such as search, Excel service, or manage the metadata. Administrator of SharePoint create and configure service application at the farm level. And as you know, service applications are connected to web application through service application proxy. Each service application represents managed code in SharePoint being run by an application pool in Internet Information Service (IIS). Web application can hold one or more site collection in one or more database, which run under a common server name or IIS host header. Web application may have more than one host header, which can be supported by more than one alternate access mapping. Web application provides a link to the corresponding website object in IIS and a link to a specific content database in SQL Server for the storage of site collection. Each web application also requires a folder in the IIS file structure of each web front-end server. For what? To store associated code, solutions, templates, content database. Each content database runs on SQL Server and holds the content from one or more site collection. Content database can only be associated with one web application at a time. Let's move to site collection. It's made up of one or more SharePoint sites that are organized as a hierarchy. When you create a new site collection, special site known as a top-level site is created within the site collection. And by the way, it's the shortest URL of all sites. Regarding the security, let's talk about it. One site collection doesn't inherit security, navigation, or other setting from another site collection, although two site collections may have some setting the same service application. This means that each site collection behaves as a security boundary. When you create a new site, the site structure and layout will be based on a predefined site template. Organization can use sites to organize content, such as creating a site for a department or a site for a project. Also, site can inherit settings such as permissions and navigation's behavior from a parent site. The last point here in site can contain one or more list or library, which a site uses to organize and store the site content. Okay, let's move to overview of information architecture in SharePoint 2013. When planning a SharePoint 2013 deployment, you should spend some time planning how you will classify information that is stored in SharePoint list and library. SharePoint, by the way, refers to the information used to categorize and classify content as a metadata management in SharePoint. Metadata management, or as we say, managed metadata service, can hold variety of different categories or classification, such as, for example, department, locations, projects, or any other suitable criteria. To classify information in SharePoint 2013, it provides for us 5 features. First of all, site column. You can create site column at the site level to hold metadata information that can be applied to a list or library. Creating a site column makes that column available to all lists and all libraries in the site collection. However, you should note site column can't be inherited from one site collection to another. Second, manage the metadata service. Enable you to create term set to be used as a metadata in list and library. The third, content type. Use content type to define type of item or a document. Number 4, document set. Present a specialized folder interface to user, providing user within a familiar structure for organizing information. The last one, location-based metadata default. You can enable a specific folder within a document library to apply default values to specific metadata fields.